the sun comes in, it tries to escape, it can't, it gets back, bounced back down, and we then have a greenhouse effect. So that's what's going on. And emissions from a vehicle contribute to all three of those. What is smog? This is a picture taken back in the 1970s, I believe, of Southern California. And this is that same picture on a non-attainment day. And that's the low-level smog that I'm talking about. The NOx, the hydrocarbons, and the volatile organic compounds that sit in our lower atmosphere. And when reacted with the sun, creates that haze. Global warming, obviously, I already touched on that. It's a bigger problem because it's now, smog tends to affect just local areas, the big cities, cities that are surrounded typically by mountain ranges where the air can't escape, it just gets stale. Global warming is a bigger picture. It affects all of us on the earth, not just here in California, but everywhere. What ARB is doing about it, we'll hit on a few of these. The Global Warming Solutions Act of 2006, signed by Governor Schwarzenegger. We have tremendous amount of effort going into reducing the amount of carbon that we emit on a daily basis. It's both voluntary efforts, it's both regulatory efforts, mandatory efforts. And the primary goal of that is to get down to 1990 levels by 2020, and then get an 80% reduction by 2050. And that's an awfully challenging goal. We also have some other things going on as well. We did some research and we found out that people really don't understand too much about global warming, and I'll make this presentation available if you'd like. A lot of neat stuff going on. We are doing some outreach, and I have a copy of that presentation in the back. We're also doing advertisement right now at LA Auto Show, which just came out. We also have a Drive Clean website, incredibly populated with a tremendous amount of information about global warming, smog, the various types of vehicles that are available. You see these little symbols on the right? That's the various technologies that are out there. Most of us think that there's three cars. There's gasoline, diesel, and ethanol. Well, believe it or not, there's a lot more than that. And you're going to see a lot more coming. Just a brief education on the different certification levels that we have for vehicles today. Everybody knows what a low-emission vehicle is, right? And the auto manufacturers have picked up on this. A low-emission vehicle in California is the dirtiest car you can buy. So when you see these advertisements, GM coming out saying, look, all of the vehicles we sell in California are low-emission vehicles. Well, look at, they're actually the dirtiest cars out there. There's ultra-low emission vehicles, which are 50% cleaner, super ultra-low. PZEVs, and by the way, a partial zero emission vehicle is important. If you as a fleet manager or even your own personal mode of transportation if you decide to buy a vehicle and you want to get a super clean car, ask the dealer for a PZEV vehicle, because then you get a 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty on the emissions. If that check engine light ever comes on in the first 15 years of ownership, they have to fix it for free. That's part of the PZEV certification. We want these cars to last. And then we get into the advanced technologies, the ATPZEV and the zero-emission vehicles. What we've done is we've made that simple, so you don't have to make any guesses. We're putting together a scale. Every new car sold in California starting January 1st of 2009 is going to have this label on it. It's going to score the vehicle based on the smog it emits and based on the global warming emissions that it emits. And hopefully you know the difference right now. A lot of people don't, but there's a difference. So some vehicles may score high on global warming, low on smog, or vice versa. Just know that that label is there. Obviously, the higher the score, the cleaner the car. We modeled it after the Olympics. So there are cars out there that get a 10 on both scales. Not that many, but there are. So strive to find those cars with the higher scores. And that's another video that talks about the label. And I just want to wrap up this conversation with, I talked earlier a little bit about where the emissions come from. In addition to, most people talk about vehicle operation as a primary contribution to emissions. Well, both the CEC, a lot of the energy companies, the ARB, everyone's looking at it from a different angle now. We're actually taking into account upstream emissions in addition to what we call the vehicle operation or downstream emissions. So when we talk about the extraction of the oil, the refining of the oil, the transportation of the oil, the delivery of the oil, and then final dispensing of that oil into the car, there's a tremendous amount of emissions that comes from that process as well. So when we talk about global warming and the various fuels that are out there, we're looking at all of these things. We're not just looking at the tailpipe emissions anymore. We're looking at the total life cycle, or what we call well-to-wheel emissions associated with these various fuels. And with that, I'll save questions till afterwards, because I know we've got a tight schedule.
All right, let's give Craig a hand. Start out with a video. Hopefully this works.
ULTRA stands for Urban Light Transit, a new concept in travel for the 21st century. 12 years in development, ULTRA brings a fresh approach to traffic congestion and pollution, responding to the needs of passengers. It's quick, comfortable, and convenient. ULTRA is an automated transit system using many 4-person, zero-emission electric vehicles. ULTRA gets you to your destination faster than a car and avoids parking hassles. ULTRA is well suited to serve offices and airports, blending in easily with modern architecture. ULTRA makes transit and carpooling more effective, connecting a single train station to 30,000 desks. Stations are on a separate track from the main track, so that stopped vehicles do not interfere with the free flow of passing traffic. With ULTRA, you don't wait for vehicles. Vehicles wait for you. Modern communications and location sensing technology allow vehicles to run at precisely controlled intervals, creating a high-capacity system. Moving smoothly and silently, the battery-powered vehicles are safe and reliable, traveling up to 3 times faster than a car. PRT allows complex transit networks, weaving tracks around buildings with tight turns, bringing transit right to the front door, placing many stations close together. Tracks don't have to go simply in a straight line. The network accommodates non-stop, point-to-point direct service to all stations every time. ULTRA stations can be located adjacent to buildings or even directly on the second floor, further increasing convenience. At high-capacity locations, ULTRA stations have correspondingly more vehicle berths and more efficient vehicle choreography. ULTRA is easy to use. After making your choice, ULTRA will take you there non-stop. The vehicles allow easy access for bikes and wheelchairs, with plenty of space for people, backpacks, and briefcases. London's Heathrow Airport will host the world's first ULTRA system. Construction at Heathrow has already begun. ULTRA is transit for a sustainable future.
All right, that's enough of that. Hope the echo wasn't too bad in the back there. So PRT is personal rapid transit, these little 4-person vehicles. And portions of this presentation are brought to you by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And certainly one of the reasons I got involved in this space was concern over leaving the world better off for our next generation. My daughter there. There's many opportunities in the Bay Area. I'll talk about a couple of them today. So the one technology that's going into Heathrow is called ULTRA PRT, but there's a whole bunch of different flavors of this technology. They're not all the same. So the ULTRA system and this To Get There system are kind of like glorified electric golf carts. So they're battery powered.